Hey NBA 2K fans, in this video we're going to talk about how to use player lock in NBA 2K and other position settings, along with a couple tips on how to have more fun with player lock and kind of just show you how these features work in NBA 2K. If you're new to the channel, I am Coach 2K. While you're here, click the subscribe button and click the bell to get notified about any other NBA 2K video that I might upload. And also, while you're here, check out my other My League series episodes on the channel. You might enjoy those. Alright, so with that, let's start talking about NBA 2K's player lock and position lock features. Now within NBA 2K, you can play on a form of player lock in a couple of different modes of NBA 2K, but the best place to play true player lock outside of my career, where you're always playing as you, is in My League. And within My League, you actually have an option for position settings here, and you can see I'm on that screen now. Now when you go into position settings, you're going to have two options. One is player lock and one is position lock, and so you can choose one of these two options within My League to control players in different ways. If you leave these options disabled, then essentially you'll have multiplayer control when you're playing games. So you can switch between players as you play, and so that's the default method, and that's how most people play. However, if you want to play just as one specific player, so let's say that I wanted to play as Darren Collison, then under the player lock I can choose specific players that I want to use, and then when the game starts and I play, then I am only that specific player while the game's going on. So let's say I chose Darren Collison, well then I play as Darren Collison and that's it throughout the game. I can't control Oladipo or Miles Turner. If Darren Collison gets subbed out, then the game just advances to the next time that Darren Collison plays, a lot like happens when you're in your My Career mode. Now, one of the cool things about doing it this way is if you want to run a My Career within a My League, this is the way to go, because you can just use player lock and control whatever player it is that you want to do in the game. And right now I'm running a series where I'm doing exactly that, where I'm just controlling one guy, and so the only time I play is when he plays, and that's it. And so that's true player lock. To me, that's the ideal way to do it. Now, there's another setting here, so let's disable this, called position lock. And position lock gives me control over one position. So in this case, if I chose point guard, then I would play the whole game for whoever's in the game at point guard. So if Darren Collison starts for the Pacers and I'm controlling the Pacers, I'm going to play as him, and then once Darren Collison is subbed out, if Corey Joseph comes in, then that's how I would also control him. So I wouldn't just control one player, I might control whoever comes in at that position the entire game. And to me, while that's cool to do that too, I much prefer playing on player lock, where I get to control one individual person at a time. Now, since you can do a player lock or position lock in your offline My Leagues, you might wonder if you can do it in an online My League, and the answer is no. You don't have those options in an online My League. I'll show you in a second how you can kind of play online in a form of position lock in just a second, but you can't do it in My League online. Now when it comes to the other modes, obviously My Career you're going to play as yourself, but in the other modes in NBA 2K, the true player lock position settings are not available in the other modes. Now, if you just want to play on position lock, you can do so in Play Now and to a certain degree in Play with Friends. If you're in a Play Now game, then how you go about doing this is, when you're in the game, you just pause the game and you go to controller settings, and within controller settings you're going to see this option that says player lock. Now it really should say position lock, because you can only choose point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center or none, which is the default, which is controlling everybody on the floor during the game when you need to. But the position lock means that you'll actually play, if I play as point guard again, if I use Darren Collison when he's in, I'll use Corey Joseph when he's in, and so whoever comes in at point guard is who I'm going to use, and not a true player lock. Another time you can play on position lock is if you go into play with friends, and within play with friends mode, if you want to join with one or more friends, then you can play on position lock there. And let me tell you a little bit more about how you can do that with just one other person if you want to. How it works in play with friends is when you go into a locker room, you can invite your friends and you can set up a private team up situation in your settings. You can choose your teams, and in private team up, usually everybody invites 9 other people, so you'd have like 10 people in your team up, and everybody would choose a player. But if you wanted to, you could just choose a position lock. So I'm here, I'm Oladipo, and one of my friends here is Kemba Walker, and I believe he could have chose somebody on the same team. Ideally here you'd want to play on the same position if you're going to play with somebody online on position lock. But here you can see kind of how it works here. I'm controlling Oladipo and he's controlling Kemba Walker, and so that's kind of a way that you can kind of go in there and play on position lock. And I've done that a few times. It's more fun if you have 10 guys, but if you did cooperative play, which I think you can, I didn't test it, I think I've done it before, you and a friend can play on the same team. And I know one of my friends, we really like to play on the same team all the time, and so that's a lot of fun to do. And this is kind of how you could go about doing it if you wanted to. You would just choose guys on the same team. So that's how it would work with play with friends, and that's kind of a feature that I don't think a lot of people know about. CPU players can be tough, so that's another way that you can play on position lock. My favorite way to run a player lock is on true player lock, and to do it in a My League file, and to run like a My Career in a My League. Right now I'm doing a series on my channel if you want to check it out, and that's in general how the player lock and position lock features work in NBA 2K. Let me know down in the comments if you use player lock or position lock, and if there's anything that I missed about how these features work, let me and my viewers know in the comments below. Alright, I am Coach 2K. I'll see you on the court in the next video. Thanks for watching.